I'm just wondering what the Browns are doing. Myles Garrett, as good as he is, y'all have nothing on offense.
But I'm going to start with Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett reversed course, and he is going to stay with the Cleveland Browns for over $40 million a year. What was the guaranteed money on that? Was it 125?
123.
$123 million on the guaranteed money. And I couldn't help but think of Michael Scott in The Office when he said, hey, this isn't about the money. But it turns out the money was absolutely essential to everything that I'm doing. So he's going to stay with Cleveland. So my statement to you guys is Myles Garrett made the wrong decision. Punt or go.
It's hard for me when you got $123 million guaranteed to say, I think you messed up. But I'm going to go on this. And the reason is this. Myles Garrett is rich forever. He's made a ton of money. Wherever he went, if he got traded somewhere, he would make a ton of money. You're never going to be broke. Your grandkids aren't going to be broke. Your great-great-grandkids aren't going to be broke. You've made generational wealth. To me, now it's about winning a Super Bowl. It's about going to a team that can win a Super Bowl. Cleveland is not winning the Super Bowl. I think Cleveland's stupid for doing this. I think you could have got a king's ransom for Myles Garrett if you played your card right. And Cleveland needs a lot of help in other places. The defense, Myles Garrett's going to be great. May win Defensive Player of the Year. You're not winning a Super Bowl. If you're going to blow it up, blow the whole thing up and rebuild. So Myles Garrett, now locked up, you're never winning one. You're never winning one. If that's worth, after you're already rich, that amount of money, then okay, I tip my hat to you. Congratulations. You can get a Tesla with a mermaid attached to it. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, I think Myles Garrett wanted to win a Super Bowl. Now he's not going to win one.
Kind of a weird turn of events after he requested the trade, and then wasn't it the owner, Jimmy Haslam, said he wouldn't meet with him just a couple days ago?
No, the Browns weren't letting him go anywhere.
Which is nuts.
It's not like Myles Garrett had an option. It's either you sit out an entire year.
Okay.
Which are you willing to do?
Or you wouldn't play for the money that you're already contracted to play for. Like, that's an option, too.
Well, you say sitting out. He could be like, my ankle's messed up. Like, there are ways around that.
Well,
yes,
that's still opting out.
There's ways around.
Yeah, you're opting out.
Or you could just not sign an extension and just the first chance you get to be a free agent, you leave.
I mean, yeah, I get, but...
Well, like, I can actually... Go ahead.
Risk yourself, though. Do you risk yourself getting hurt?
What was his previous contract? It wasn't like he was like getting minimum wage.
Well, no, it wasn't what it ain't worth, but it was a lot.
It ain't this.
No, but
he's the most non-quarterback. He's the most highest paid player ever. That's not a quarterback.
Yeah, which that'll
just
last
days after Max Crosby.
Yeah, that'll last for 3 days. That's how it works. I'm just wondering what the Browns are doing. So, all right, Cleveland, what are you going to do at 2? What are you going to do at 2? You going to take a quarterback? Like what? Because Myles Garrett, as good as he is, y'all have nothing on offense. Nothing on offense. No chance to win it. Myles Garrett could have the greatest career a defensive end has ever had, and y'all's ass probably still won't make the playoffs.
Well, next one up. All signs were pointing to the Seattle Seahawks doing a complete rebuild after they traded DK Metcalf to the Steelers, after they traded quarterback Geno Smith to the Raiders. But now the reports are that they signed Sam Darnold. Yeah. What was that, 3 years, like 105?
50 guaranteed.
So that happened just as we were coming on the show. But I do want to start with Geno Smith going to the Raiders because, remember, the Raiders have the 6th overall pick in this upcoming NFL draft. So the Raiders made a solid quarterback move considering this year's quarterback draft class. Punt or go?
Well, I'm calling a timeout. You know, we got to talk about it because I don't know how many years are on the contract.
Timeout?
No, I'm calling a timeout.
When did we get timeout?
We ran the punt out there and we had to call a timeout.
He just Chris Webber.
Where's the challenge?
I ran a fake punt 2 weeks ago.
No, like he can't.
Because he can't do that. And here's why. Let me explain. We don't know the years on the contract yet.
So he has one year remaining on his deal. This is what we looked up earlier. So the Raiders said they are going to rework a contract, but they're not obligated to. They traded for him, and I think it's 1 year for $25 million. Can you look up and see if I'm wrong?
So if it's 1 year and you're signing Geno Smith for 1 year, okay, I get it. Smart move. Smart move. Maybe you don't like what's in this class. You're at 6. Maybe you don't think you're going to be able to trade up. Maybe you don't want to trade up. Maybe you want to wait till next year and you need a solid quarterback to get you through this season. I totally understand that, where you don't got to pay out the ass like some of these other guys are. I get that. But if this is a multi-year deal, the Raiders have so many other problems that they need to address that you might as well have gone out and got a young quarterback and then tried to put pieces around him and really start the thing over. Because I don't think Geno Smith, with what Las Vegas has right now, can take them to the promised land. I think Geno Smith, and pretty much every quarterback is like this. There's very few that get in that rare air. He is truly a product of what is around him. The creation ability of Geno Smith is not great. So if this is a stopgap quarterback, I like it. I think it's a smart move. But if this is a, hey, we want you for 3 to 5 years, I'm not saying I don't like it. You need to join the Booster Club in epic style with the Crain and Company camo trucker hat that is now available in our collection at dailywire.com/shop. And in order to illustrate it, we have a beautiful video to play for you guys. Let's go ahead and play this.
We're back at the warehouse, and this time it's about us. We're selling our brand new Crain and Company hats.
Dude, you get them dirty.
Here at Crain & Company in this office, we wear a lot of hats. Yoga teacher, a paleologist, security.
I decorate some stuff around here sometimes.
Jeremy's best friend.
People throw around this term Renaissance man. I wouldn't call myself that per se, but yeah, we try and wear a lot of hats.
I make the coffee. I've been working on this brew for weeks.
No one drinks the coffee.
One of the other hats I wear is that of the janitorial service. These floors are spick and span.
Look, hats can be complicated. That's why I've taken on the new role of hosting a snapback seminar. Some people have smaller heads. There's no shame in that. If that's the case, just make it tighter if you have a smaller head, and then it constricts. And that's a snapback hat. And you snap it.
I'm also the office doctor. Don't tense up. We're supposed to be getting our new camo hats in soon. Blaine's in charge of shipping. How's that going, Blaine? It's going great. Oh, how reassuring. All right, look, here's the deal. I brought the camouflage hats outside. I set them down for like 1 minute. I can't find them. I fudged up, guys. I fudged up bad.
Me and Blaine have even found some extra time and decided to take the initiative to start running some HR meetings. You know, really get everything tightened up around here.
Derek, look, this is the third time we've brought you in here because for some reason, I guess you think you're too good to wear your Crain & Company hat and you want to wear that one.
I don't like the hat with all the snaps on the back.
Damn it, Derek, wear the hat! Wear the hat, Derek. Or else! Oh, and that's coming out of your paycheck. Congrats.
And here it is right here. He found
I didn't
them.
fudge up, guys.
Can you believe
I didn't
it?
fudge up. I
He
knew we were
found
the whole
them.
time.
And it
Way
can
to
be
go.
yours for a
We
great
were the
price
whole time.
at dailywire.com/shop. Let's throw that in the chat so the good people can go find it and contribute to the Crain and Company fund.
But the Sam Darnold piece of this coming from Minnesota over to Seattle, that's interesting. Right after you've traded two of your better players, what do you think about that?
Well, you know, a lot of people look at it and be like, you know, why did they do this? Why is it this? You sold out on DK Metcalf. But I think if you really look at it, I mean, you're going to have to pay DK a lot of money if you're Seattle. I mean, he's getting to the end of his contract. It's going to be an absolutely massive extension. You save over $20 million in salary space by getting rid of DK. And this allows, I mean, it allows Seattle to now rebuild. And if you believe in Sam Darnold, which I think they do, I mean, you got to think of everybody they've gotten rid of. I mean, you have Jackson Smith and Jigba, and that's about it. But
Lockett's gone.
I mean, Tyler Lockett's gone. DK Metcalf's gone. You still have Noah Fant at tight end, who I think is a great player.
Kenneth Walker, they got Charbonnet.
Yeah, I mean, from a running back standpoint, you're okay. I don't think you're great, but I see why they did this. I think there's plenty of receivers in this draft that are going to be pretty damn good that you can replace with, and you don't have to hit that cap space. And when it comes to rebuilding, you have to know when the time is right. And I think the Seattle think this is the right time to do that. And I think you can build around Sam Darnold.
And also, they draft really well.
Really well. They've always drafted.
Especially these past few years. I wonder if that changes at all now that Pete Carroll's gone, but they've drafted really well.
And you didn't have to pay Sam a crazy amount. Like, you paying him a good amount, but not like these top tier quarterbacks where you have to empty out the vault.
Yeah, well, if Geno was like, I got to make like this type of crazy amount of money, I understand why Seattle moved on and went with Sam Darnold. But man, you gotta find somebody to catch the ball. Like, because I'm looking at the wide receiver right now. I like Smith and Jigba's been a great player, and maybe they will hit in the draft. But it's Sam's going to need some help.
All right, so let's talk about the DK Metcalf piece of this. Obviously, the Seahawks traded him to the Steelers, which would make for an interesting wide receiver room with George Pickens in there in Pittsburgh.
It's a crash-out wide receiver room.
Yeah, no doubt. But there are talks now that Aaron Rodgers could come from the Jets over to Pittsburgh. And I was going to say Aaron Rodgers would be a better fit than Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. But now the breaking news is that Justin Fields has signed a deal with the New York Jets. Is that right?
Yeah.
So feel free to hit on that. But just in terms of like Aaron Rodgers possibly coming over to the Pittsburgh Steelers, would that be a better option than Russell Wilson?
I think so. I think Aaron right now in his career, as bad as it was last year, and I understand the injury before, and I know Aaron can bring distractions, but it's just something instinctually is telling me him with that Steelers defense and with that Steelers brand and with DK Metcalf and with George Pickens. You know what you need to calm down crazy guys? You need crazy guys.
Do you?
They listen to each other. Yeah, you do.
Sure.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
put
do.
out the fire. Let's
I
add
remember
some
in
gasoline.
coaching, I used to have to act crazy so the crazy ones would listen. Because if
wasn't
they
an
think
act.
you're crazier than they are, and as a white guy, the crazy white dude gets a lot of leeway. You know what I'm saying? Like that's so I think. And look, DK, I don't think is a distraction. But George Pickens, we'll see how this works. But if George is smart, he realizes that helped him out. Because again, if you look around what the Steelers had before they had DK Metcalf, it was George Pickens. Not a whole lot, buddy.
Eberflus, or what's the tight end's name?
Yeah, but that's the tight end. I'm talking about
play.
wide receivers.
Not
I think,
Eberflus.
you know when they say like that, this plan's crazy, but it just might be crazy enough to work. I like it. I think they will thrive if Aaron Rodgers is there.
In
I'm gonna tell you
Pittsburgh?
right now.
Thrive?
I'm going to tell you right now. If Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers,
Don't do it.
they are at least making the conference championship game.
Hey, YouTube, appreciate you guys hopping on. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you know when Crain & Company goes to college or Locker Room Talk is dropping.